Hello dear students, welcome to mathematics class. So in this class let us discuss the second unit of that paper 2, complex analysis. So here in this unit we are going to learn, so here this is the title of the second unit, that is complex integration, and in this unit we are going to learn Cauchy's theorem, Morera's theorem, Cauchy's integral formula, Cauchy's integral formula for derivatives, and Cauchy's inequality, Liouville's theorem. So here it is completely theoretical unit. So Cauchy's theorem, Morera's theorem, Cauchy's integral formula, and Cauchy's integral formula for derivatives, Cauchy's inequality, and Liouville's theorem. So first of all, let us discuss the concept of complex line integral. So here, as usual integration, here also we are going to integrate the function with respect to x and y depending on the given problem. So here this is the introduction for that complex line integral. So here we are going to consider the function of a complex variable, that is f of z, where z is equal to x plus iy. So let us consider a function f of z of the complex variable z equal to x plus iy defined at all the points of the curve C extending from P to Q. So here it is the curve PQ. So on this curve we are considering the points P1 of Z1, P2 of Z2, and so on, Pk minus 1 of Zk minus 1, Pk of Zk, and let us consider the nth point, that is Pn of Zn, that is the nth point on the curve PQ. Now divide the curve C into n parts by the points what we have considered, that P1, P2, Pk minus 1, Pk, and so on up to Pn. So there are total n points on the curve that we have considered. Their points means they are the parts of the curve. Now let us consider alpha k. Alpha k be any point on the arc of the curve. So arc means that is a part of the curve PQ. So here let us consider that part Pk minus 1 to Pk. So in this region let us consider the point alpha k on that arc, and delta zk is equal to, that is the length of that arc, zk minus 1, that is called as delta zk, and where k takes the values from 1 to n. Now limit as n tends to infinity summation over k equal to 1 to n f of alpha k into delta zk. So here this is nothing but limit of sum, and that limit of sum will give the integral value. So here limit as n tends to infinity means, so if we have divided that PQ into infinite parts, so then f of alpha k, that f of alpha k means that is nothing but value of the function at the point alpha k, means the point on the curve is called as alpha k and length of that curve is delta zk. So if we multiply, that will give the length and breadth, means that is nothing but area of a rectangular strip. As in case of Riemann integration, we have divided the curve into rectangular strips, and finally we have concluded that by finding the upper sum and lower sum we have evaluated the integral. So here also same, here we are considering limit as n tends to infinity summation over k equal to 1 to n f of alpha k delta zk. So here delta zk tends to 0, that is the magnitude of that delta zk tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, means whenever we are dividing that PQ into infinite parts, the distance between two consecutive points will be equal to very small, that is tends to 0. So now this limit of sum is defined as complex line integral along the path C, usually denoted by integration over C f of z dz. So here also it is nothing but we are finding the area under the curve PQ, right. So whatever the area bounded by this curve with this axis, but here we are not considering x and y axis, we are considering here z plane, that is Argand plane, where the imaginary line and real line, like that we are considering. So now properties of complex line integral. So if C denotes the curve travels from Q to P, then so means here the direction of from, usually in the given curve we are moving from P to Q. So if we are moving from Q to P, then that integral will get the negative sign, that is integration over minus C f of z dz, means that negative sign indicates the path of that curve, whether we are moving from P to Q or Q to P, but the magnitude of that curve will be same, only that sign of that integral will become negative, that negative sign indicates the direction of the path. And the second property is, if C splits into number of parts C1, C2 so on, then integration over C f of z dz equal to integration over C1 f of z dz plus integration over C2 f of z dz plus integration over C3 integration over C4, like that it will go. So means if the same curve is divided into several parts, then if we integrate that part separately and after adding them, that will give the total area bounded by the curve C. That is the meaning of this property. And how to evaluate a complex line integral? So here the integral will be of the form integration over C f of z dz. They will give a function of z along with dz and they will give the curve C. So depending on this curve we are going to integrate the function. So for that, here we need to use z equal to x plus iy and dz equal to differentiation of this one. The differentiation of x is dx plus I is constant as it is, then differentiation of y is dy. So here the limit of integration will be of the form a plus ib to c plus id. So since it is a function of a complex variable which is of the form x plus iy, then the limits of integration will be of the form a plus ib c plus id, means where a is the real and b is the imaginary part in the lower limit, and similarly c is the real and d is the imaginary part in the upper limit. So here where a and c means the real part of the lower limit and the real part of the upper limit are the limits for the variable x, because in z equal to x plus iy, x is the real part. So therefore the corresponding real parts will be the limits for x, and b comma d are the limits for y, because they are in the position of the imaginary part. So therefore integration over C f of z dz can be written as integration over a plus ib to c plus id f of x plus iy, because z equal to x plus iy and dz equal to dx plus idy. So to evaluate this integral, since here we have only one integral sign, right, here it is only one integral sign, but the variables are two, x and y. So therefore we need to reduce the function f of x plus iy to a function of a single variable, and then we can integrate with respect to x or y depending on the resultant integral. So here to evaluate this integral, reduce the function to a function of single variable, then the integral will take the form integration over a to c f of x dx, because a and c are the limits for x, so therefore here it is a function of x, so therefore it is integration over a to c f of x dx. Or if we reduce the function to the function of y, then that will become integration over b to d f of y dy, then this can be evaluated easily. So here we are reducing the function of two variable to function of a single variable by using the given conditions, and then go for the integration by using the corresponding limits. So that will give the required integral value. Let us discuss the examples on the complex line integral. Evaluate 0 to 3 plus I z square dz along the line y is equal to x by 3. So this is the given example. Here the limits are from 0 to 3 plus I. So here 0 means it is of the form 0 plus I0, means both real and imaginary parts are equal to 0, and the upper limit is 3 plus I, means the value of x equal to 3 and y is equal to 1, and the function is z square dz along the line y is equal to x by 3. So by using this line we are going to integrate the function. So here this line is used to reduce the function z equal to x plus iy to a function of a single variable. So now let us consider the given thing, that is y is equal to x by 3. It implies that x is equal to 3y. Then differentiating on both sides, it implies dx equal to 3 dy. So we got dx equal to 3 dy, and next the next thing is we need to substitute z equal to x plus iy. So now z equal to x plus iy, then it implies dz equal to dx plus I dy. So now we have totally 3 substitutions. One is z equal to x plus iy, dz equal to dx plus I dy, and dx equal to 3 dy. So now consider the given integral as I. So I is equal to 0 to 3 plus I z square dz. Now this becomes 0 to 3 plus I, z is x plus iy whole square, and dz is dx plus I dy. So here we have substituted z equal to x plus iy and dz equal to dx plus I dy, and now we need to reduce this function of two variables to a function of single variable by using the substitutions given. So here the given line is y is equal to x by 3. So here y equal to x by 3 can be written as x equal to 3y, means we can substitute x equal to 3y, and in place of dx we can write 3 dy. So now this becomes, here now x becomes 3y plus iy whole square, and dx becomes 3 dy plus I into dy. So now this function of two variables become a function of y only. So because we have eliminated x from this function. So we have eliminated x means here limits. So here the limits must be considered only for y. So in the lower limit the value of y is 0, so it is 0, and in the upper limit it is 3 plus I, means the real part is 3, imaginary part is 1. So imaginary part is nothing but y, so therefore the value of y is equal to 1. Now that integral 0 to 3 plus I z square dz reduce it to a function of a complex variable, function of a single variable as integration over 0 to 1 3y plus iy whole square 3 dy plus I dy. Now it is integration over 0 to 1. Here we can take that y common, then remaining 3 plus I whole square into y square. Here dy is common, so 3 plus I dy. So here the constant thing is 3 plus I whole square into 3 plus I, that becomes 3 plus I whole cube, and remaining 0 to 1 y square dy. Then it is equal to 3 plus I whole cube, and integration of this one is y cube divided by 3 from 0 to 1. So this is equal to 3 plus I whole cube into 1 by 3 and minus 0. So therefore it is 3 plus I whole cube divided by 3, that is the value of the integral 0 to 3 plus I z square dz. The next example is evaluate 0 to 1 plus I z square dz along the line y is equal to x. So here lower limit is 0 plus I 0, means x equal to 0, y is equal to 0, and in the upper limit it is 1 plus I, means x equal to 1 and y is equal to 1, and the function is z square, and we need to evaluate that integral along the line y is equal to x. So now here given that y is equal to x, it implies that dy is equal to dx, right? Then z equal to x plus iy, it implies dz equal to dx plus I dy. So these are the two common things for each and every problem. So here we need to consider the given equation of line and then differentiate that and use z equal to x plus iy, and also differentiate that with respect to x and y. Now I is equal to 0 to 1 plus I z square dz, it is equal to 0 to 1 plus I, it is x plus iy whole square dx plus I dy. So now in the previous example we have substituted for y, now here you can substitute for y or x, means you can replace x by y or y by x, that will be same. So now here let us substitute y is equal to x, then this becomes x plus ix whole square, then this one is dx plus I into dx, because dy is equal to dx, and the limits from 0 to 1, because in the lower limit the value of x is 0 and in the upper limit the value of x is 1, so therefore it is from 0 to 1. Now 0 to 1, here x is common, that becomes 1 plus I whole square into x square, dx is common, 1 plus I dx. Then here 1 plus I is a constant term, and now it is 1 plus I whole square, and here one more 1 plus I is there, the total 1 plus I whole cube integration over 0 to 1 x square dx. Then it is equal to 1 plus I whole cube integration of x square is x cube by 3 from 0 to 1. Then it is 1 plus I whole cube into 1 by 3, since the upper limit is 1 and minus the lower limit is 0, that is 0 only. So therefore it is 1 plus I whole cube divided by 3. So here from 0 to 1 plus I z square dz, this is the value of the integral. So here two steps are common in these examples. So one is use the given equation of the line for the substitution, and also replace z by x plus iy and dz by dx plus iy, and then simplify in such a way that the function should be a function of a single variable, and then integrate with respect to x or y, and here while writing the limits. So depending on this replacements, we need to consider the limits, whether we have considered a function of x or a function of y. So if we have considered a function of y only, then use the limits of y, and if we have considered the limits function of x, then use the limits of x. So this is the way to integrate the given function of a complex variable.